everyone. My name is Natalie Hinton, and I'm your host for Education Chat, a podcast by students for students in the Inland Empire. In today's episode, we will be answering a question I had when I first started applying to colleges, which is, what is the difference between the UC and the CSU schools? A majority of Inland Empire students that are considering pursuing higher education will most likely commit to attending a University of California or a California State University. These are both public university systems in California with campuses all across the state, enrolling over 660,000 undergraduates every single school year. For undergraduate students, the UCs have 9 campuses and the CSUs have 23. Our region is home to 2 of those schools, which is UC Riverside and CSU San Bernardino. And these schools are great options for anyone who is looking to stay in California. Despite their shared renown and similarities, these 2 school systems differ in factors that would be important to each individual student. To help better understand the differences between the UCs and the CSUs, and to guide students to make an informed decision on which system might be a better fit, we will be meeting with 2 students, one from a UC and one from a CSU, to compare and contrast their university experiences. Answering our questions about the UCs is Strawberry Henderson, a physics major attending UC San Diego. Answering our questions about the CSUs is Isabel Martinez, a physics major attending CSU San Bernardino. They both transferred from the same community college in the Inland Empire, Crafton Hills College, but have gone down different educational roads to study their passions. So let's talk about how their life has been different since transferring to a university. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Isabel and Strawberry.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
So today we are talking a little bit about the differences between the UCs and the CSU. So I'd love for you guys to introduce yourself, tell us your major, and which school you're at right now.
Hi, my name's Isabel Martinez, and I go to Cal State San Bernardino, and my major is physics.
I'm Strawberry Henderson. I'm also majoring in physics, and I am at UC San Diego.
So you both actually met at Crafton Hills College. So you both started at Crafton, and then you got to diverge into your own different paths at CSU San Bernardino and UC San Diego. But I also want to know, what other schools did you apply to and were you accepted to?
Well, straight after high school, I applied to a lot of different schools, and I got into a lot of them, like a lot of the UCs, but I decided to go to community college because it was cheaper. After community college, I honestly only applied to Cal State San Bernardino and UCR, and chose to go to Cal State San Bernardino to save money and live with my dad.
Yeah, I also applied right out of high school to a lot of different schools, and I also got accepted to a couple different places, but it was during 2020, so I decided also to be close to home at Crafton and kind of figure out where I wanted to go. But I then applied for transfer to UC Irvine, UC San Diego, of course, and I think UCR. Oh, and Cal State San Bernardino. But then I ultimately ended up deciding to go to San Diego. I considered going to Cal State San Bernardino also because that's where my mom graduated from. But then when I spoke to a counselor, she was like, it kind of just depends on where you want to be location-wise. And I thought being next to the beach would be really fun. And also it's like a really good school to go to. So I ended up choosing there.
So we're going to try and really delve into what the differences between these schools are. So we're going to start off talking a little bit about how your educational quality has been so far. Do you know where you guys stand in your education? Are you a sophomore, junior, senior?
I think I'm technically a senior. My path is a little weird because I took a little bit longer than 4 years, but I'm gonna graduate this next semester in the fall.
I'm also kind of in the same boat where I've taken a little bit longer. So I believe I'm going into my senior year, but I might end up going over a little bit. So kind of puts me in a weird spot.
Yeah, the path you pick is always the right one for you. And, you guys still have had experiences at that school. You've been there about probably a year for both of you-ish now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you both know your schools pretty well. So I'm just going to ask you guys questions. You let me know how your individual school does it, and then we can compare and contrast after that. So, Isabel, for CSU San Bernardino, does it run by a semester or a quarter system?
Semester.
And Strawberry?
Quarter.
Fun fact, 95% of schools run on the semester calendar. So, Strawberry, you're a little bit of the odd one out.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of the UCs do a quarter system.
Yeah, but I'd love to ask, how do you guys manage that? Do you feel like semester or the quarter system is a good fit for you?
I've never done quarter. I think I don't know if this is true because I haven't experienced quarter, but I think I would prefer semester so you can fully get the material and not have the class just end.
Hmm.
What about you?
I personally think I prefer the semester system. Quarter system has like the benefit of you get through classes really quickly. Like you get a lot of classes in 1 year, and if you don't like a teacher, you're not stuck with them for very long. But at the same time, it is very hard to keep up with sometimes. Week 3 is midterms, so like you really don't have a lot of time to process the information.
Yeah, because the way you run, if I understand right, it's 4 10-week sessions. So it's basically spread
Mhm.
off out across the entire seasons. But for semesters, it's just mainly fall and spring, and then you're able to take summer classes in between. Do you feel like you get enough of a break, Strawberry, at your school?
Um, I mean, we do have, I would say, like, it starts a lot later than the other schools start, and then it goes on maybe a week or two after. I know when Isabel got out of her school, she was done for the summer. I was still in school for a little longer. The breaks, I would say, are just about average.
And Isabel, can you tell us when you ended the last semester and when you're going to be starting again?
I always forget when it ends. I think it's like end of May. Sometime in May we end, so it's pretty early. And I'm starting next Monday, so that's the end of August.
And Strawberry?
I believe I ended finals like around June 20th, so pretty late into June, and then I don't go back till maybe like September 20th about. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it varies a lot in schedule. So I want to ask you both about the workload. So this can also include how you guys have the different structures of semesters and quarters. Do you feel like the workload for your major is easy to manage? And it's very nice to compare you two because you're both studying physics.
Yeah. I think physics is always a lot of work. Yeah. But I don't know if there's gonna be a difference between us. I think we both have to do like the same amount of work for our classes.
yeah, I would agree. It's a lot of work for it, studying and homework wise.
And you're able to manage it well with the amount of breaks you have and stuff and the way the quarters and semesters are set up.
I think I'm able to manage it. Like I can get a topic in a semester and manage the work and understand it.
I feel like it was definitely an adjustment for me because it goes really fast when you've not experienced a quarter system. It's like all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're about to be done, and you have to really like look back on all you learned in a short amount of time.
Mhm.
I would say I managed it, but it was kind of a struggle. I did have time for like outside activities and stuff, but a lot of my time was studying and
Yeah.
working towards my class load. So
And one thing that can really help with a difficult course like physics is having a good mentor and a good professor and good faculty. So I want to ask, on your campus, do you feel like the professors are open to being approached and they're easy to access?
I don't. I'm gonna say that the ones at my school are really easy to approach, and I'm not sure if that's because it's a Cal State or if the physics department at specifically Cal State San Bernardino is just really good. Because we have a lot of professors who are always very one-on-one with you, and they offer you a lot of opportunities. So I'd say we have really good professors at my school for physics.
I would say they're a little harder to get a hold of being at like a big UC school. They do offer office hours where you can go talk to your professor, but you might not always be able to attend them because you might have another class. And then also, I've gone to a few, and it will be like a lot of students show up. So your time is kind of divided between other questions that other students bring. So I guess it can kind of depend. I would say like I've gotten to know a couple of my professors in the 1 year I've been there, but it is like harder to form a bond with them. At my school specifically, they do have like a program called Coffee with the Professor where you can approach a professor and be like, "Do you want to go have coffee one on one?" So you can have a chance to talk to them. I haven't tried it yet, but they have ways to get in contact with your professor. It's just a little more, you have to be a little more proactive.
Hmm. Yeah, and that kind of segues into the next question I wanted to ask you guys, which is about the resources on your campus. So obviously they're different between UC and CSU's, stuff like pantries, tutoring, childcare, other things you can take advantage of. Do you take advantage of those programs you have on campus?
I'm not sure about specifically like programs they have. I think there are learning assistants in classes, which I do. If there's a learning assistant for my class, I go to it. The big thing my department always pushes is the scholarship that I'm in, and I'm a part of that. It's called CalBridge, and it's helped a lot.
What does CalBridge do?
They offer mentorship and funding so that you don't have to work while in school. And it's for students who want to go from a Cal State to a UC for grad school.
I want to take a moment to highlight what exactly CalBridge is because Isabel introduced me to the concept of the program. As she touched on, CalBridge is a program that creates opportunities for historically underrepresented groups studying STEM at various CSUs. Their goal is to increase the numbers in PhD programs targeting UCs and other partner institutions. The main CalBridge program is a partnership between 9 UCs and 22 CSUs. Scholars are recruited from CSUs across California and provide students with the necessary supports to successfully transfer to a PhD program at a UC campus. If you are a STEM student planning on achieving your PhD, I highly recommend you apply for the CalBridge program. If you are selected, you will benefit from financial support, mentoring by CSU and UC faculty, professional development workshops, and exposure to a wide variety of research opportunities, including those at the participating UC campuses. Now, back to Strawberry to learn more about the resources on her campus.
My school has a lot of resources, but it can be kind of hard to like remember them all and to know where to go because there's so many places. We do have a food pantry, and I've been there. It's pretty good. You can get a lot from there every week. I joined a program on campus too within my college because the UC is kind of weird. They have 8 colleges in San Diego specifically, does it? So I've joined one, but I guess I haven't used a lot of the resources on campus that are available.
Isabel, do you want to tell us a little bit about the research opportunities you've had at CSU San Bernardino?
Sure. A lot of or all of the professors, the physics professors at Cal State San Bernardino, do research. There's some who do astrophysics and some who do material science. And if you wanted to do research with one of the professors at Cal State San Bernardino, all you really have to do is ask. And they always let you because they want you to learn. So I'd say it's a pretty good experience in terms of research at Cal State San Bernardino. And they also put a lot of posters up of upcoming summer research programs so that you don't have to figure it all out yourself. You can just look at the poster and apply.
So, to get to know you guys a little bit more, I also want to ask what has been your favorite class so far and why?
I think I normally say that my favorite class was classical mechanics because the math was really satisfying, but I think overall the most beneficial class I took was computational physics because learning to code opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
I actually ended up liking my quantum physics class the best. I really liked the professor, and I had him the quarter before, so I kind of knew his teaching styles and what to expect on the test. And also, he was really good at lecturing. He would do demonstrations in front of us and kind of engage with us more, so it wasn't just being talked at for a couple hours. Like, it was more interactional, and he was a really good professor, so...
So, we talked a little bit about your educational differences at the CSU and the UC, but now I want to talk about the social aspects that come with going to college. So, first of all, I want to know what do you think of the location of your school?
I think mine is a stereotypical, like, bad area, but it's fine. There's really good tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right next to the beach, so it's really nice. We have really good weather for a little bit, but actually most of the year it was kind of rainy. And off campus, it can be like more city area, so it's a little scarier than on campus is really safe and nice. So I like being near the beach. It's literally walkable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
That
go?
does sound very
I don't go, but it's there if I wanted to.
A big difference between CSUs and UCs is the amount of people who live on campus and the amount of people who commute. Mainly CSUs have commuters and UCs tend to stay more on campus. So I want to ask, do you guys live in student housing? Why or why not?
I commute, so I am part of that statistic. Um, I just don't really have a reason to dorm. It would cost me so much money, and I only live 20 minutes away. It's not a bad drive, and it's nice to live with my dad. Free groceries.
I live on campus, so I'm also adding to that statistic. It would be too far from where I live to commute, and then also I just wanted to live on campus as opposed to off campus to be more involved and closer to my classes.
Hmm. And because of that, it also has a different way for you guys to make and maintain relationships. So has it been easy to make meaningful friendships while in college?
I have made a surprising amount of friends at Cal State. I think we have a really close knit physics department, so everyone, there's only like 50 people, and we all know each other. So I've made a lot of meaningful relationships despite commuting.
I have a couple close friends within the physics department, but it is also a small department within the school, so you see a lot of familiar faces. So I'd say a lot of like acquaintances or friends, especially among physics transfers, because that's an even smaller portion of the group. So some of my closest friends at the school are just other physics transfers.
So, Strawberry, I wanted to ask you, how has it been adjusting to housing?
It's been good. I ended up having what they call a mini double, where it's two people in just a smaller room, and then there's four of us total in the suite. And it worked out pretty well. I ended up with really good roommates. We all kind of kept the place clean, not too crazy parties or anything. So, and it was nice being near the classes. So I just took my bike to class every day, basically.
And then we talked a little bit about you guys utilizing the programs on your campus, but there's also different kinds of clubs and organizations to make it easier to socialize. Are you guys a part of any of those?
Yeah, I'm a part of all of the school's astronomy stuff, like the observatory and a little astronomy club, and I'm also part of the SPS, which stands for Society of Physics Students. And our physics department also just throws random events, and we all kind of go to it, like a lot of Korean barbecue and karaoke.
My school also has SPS, and I like signed up for it at the beginning of the year, but I ended up not really going to the meetings, so I won't count that. But I joined through Revelle College, the Emerging Leaders program, and that was how I socialized a lot. I made really good friends there. You had like weekly meetings, and I through that joined another club called SIP, which is Student Initiated Programs, where you kind of plan programs and events for the school, like kind of putting on fun movie nights or little fundraisers or whatever. So I met people through that. That was fun.
So another thing about the different UCs and CSUs is that UCs as a whole, at their 10 schools, they don't have as many undergrads as you guys do at the CSUs. They have about 225,000 all across their 10 campuses. But at the Cal States, they have 435,000 undergrads at their 23 campuses. Do you feel like your school is busy, Isabel?
No, not really. I mean, there's definitely people walking around during the semester, but it doesn't feel crazy. There's not like a lot of people, and especially the physics department is very small. There's not a lot of physics majors in those 435,000.
I would say my school's pretty busy. We have really big lecture halls, and especially at like the busiest time of day around lunch, the main library walk gets really crowded and hard to walk through, and then all the food places have long lines. And also, I'd say because it's a popular campus for people to like walk their dogs or bring their families, there's usually like a lot of random people there as well.
There's
Yeah.
not random people here at Casa Bernardino.
We're not by the beach.
Yeah, so although the UCs as a whole have less students than the CSU, it seems like they're kind of dispersed in each different school, where the UCs kind of feel a lot more crowded and it's more relaxed at a CSU. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I think a lot of people also just attend online for Cal State's.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and since you guys have a pretty good amount of students at each of your schools, do you feel like your student body is diverse?
I'd say the population in my school is a majority Hispanic, but there's people of all different races, and it's pretty diverse.
I say mine's pretty diverse. I've seen a lot of different people. I'd say probably a majority Asian population, but overall, like, we've got all kinds.
All right, so now we're going to move on to something that probably a lot of students worry about and they want to know about, the finances. So I just want you guys to describe your experiences with managing your tuition and other expenses for college.
It hasn't been bad for me because when I went to community college, it was paid for by FAFSA. And then when I got to Cal State San Bernardino, I joined the Cal Bridge program and they paid for my tuition every semester. And then in terms of books, at my school, they encourage us all to just find the free PDFs online, even though you're not supposed to, but it's fine.
Hmm.
The only real expense I have to pay for is the gas for the 20-minute drive, which isn't horrible.
Yeah, at Crafton they did free books, so that was really nice, and I thought it was affordable there. And then from transferring from a California community college to a UC, they had this program called the Blue and Gold Opportunity Program, where it was supposed to be no tuition and fees for the next 2 years you're at school if you're a transfer. So I got that, and that's been really nice, saving on tuition. So I say my main expense is living on campus. And other than that, I pay for like the parking pass to have my car there, and those can be kind of expensive.
I pay for parking pass too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then if you don't buy the parking pass, the tickets are really expensive. They're really good at ticketing people.
But
Same
for Cal State.
Yeah. So buy the pass, I guess. But also they have kind of weird fees sometimes. Like they will automatically charge you for recreation fees even if you don't use the gym, but since the gym's available to you, you get charged like a recreation fee and a like activity fee for any of the school events. So I guess go to school events so you get your money's worth. But
Yeah, because UCs tend to have a much higher tuition than Cal State's. The average is about 13,000 a year, and then the CSU's is about 6,000 a year. And to close out this interview, I just want to ask you guys, how do you feel like your university is equipping you with the skills you need for your chosen career in the future? And do you want to share what your career goals are after college?
I think my school is making me feel pretty well equipped because Calbridge and then also all the different research opportunities on my campus. So I feel like I've experienced a lot of different what could my life be like, whether I'm doing more coding or something more hands-on with physics. And then I also get to learn how it is to be a professor with the whole learning assistant thing where you get to tutor people and kind of shadow your professors. So I think I feel pretty well prepared. And I want to be a college professor, so that would be combining research with teaching. So a little bit of both.
I would love to work in something space related, whether it's like NASA or just kind of developing new technology. But I just kind of got to this school and I haven't had a chance to use a lot of the resources there to equip me for more. I've attended a few like seminars which were really useful and kind of gave me a glimpse into like what opportunities are out there for physicists and what to do with a physics major, as well as some lab tours. But I kind of have a goal of this year is to get into more research opportunities and get more projects. But so far, I've just been focusing mainly on studies. So I guess not as prepared as I'd like to be at this point.
Well, thank you both for meeting with me.
Thanks so much for having us.
So after hearing from a student from a UC and from a student from a CSU, which should you choose? A University of California or a California State University school? To summarize the information we just learned, the 9 undergrad UC campuses in California are notable for their reputation, lower acceptance rates, location, and the fact that many of them are top-ranked institutions with award-winning alumni and faculty. But they are also known for being heavily populated, having larger class sizes, and higher tuition costs overall. On the flip side, the 23 CSU schools have smaller student bodies, higher acceptance rates, and cheaper tuition. But some campuses may lack student life, have less housing opportunities, or have a less than ideal location. The answer on which school you should go to depends on your unique circumstances and how each school would affect your education, social life, finances, and your future. Be sure to take into consideration factors like cost, how competitive your application is, and whether or not you want to live on campus. You should also factor in the location of the school, like Strawberry talked about, and the majors that are offered there. For example, a majority of the UC schools do not provide an undergrad business administration major. Schools like Cal State Fullerton and Cal State San Marcos are renowned for that program. Ultimately, many prospective California college students will end up applying to both UC and Cal State schools. So once you receive your admissions letters, consider visiting your potential campuses, speaking with alumni or current students, or rewatching this episode of Education Chat. Thank you for applying yourself by watching this episode of Education Chat, and I hope to chat with you again soon.